Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is Friday. It's Friday, baby. And we gon' party till the break of dawn. Yes, we are. It's Friday. It's Friday, baby. And we gon' party till the break of dawn. Ooh, I did my work this week. Ooh. And baby, I can't remember the rest of it. It's Friday, August 15th, I think. Friday the 15th. Yes, it's Friday, August 15th, 2025. How you guys doing this morning? I don't know if you're glad about it, like I'm glad about it, or not, but I'm glad that it is the end of the work week. For some of you got I got my water challenge. I got my water. Some of you all work 7 days a week, so your work week has not ended, or you just starting your work week. I don't know what kind of schedules most people have, but in any event, it is the end for me. For me, it is the end for me. The end of the work week, I should say. God has been good all week long. Nothing happened. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. It was a good week. It was a good week, and I thank God for that. Thank God that it was a good week. I thank God that He protected me from all hurt, harm, and danger. I thank God for His grace, for His mercy, for His everlasting love and kindness. I thank Him. And I thank God for you. I thank God that this week I hit that 20K. What day did I come on here? Monday? Tuesday? I think I came on Facebook Live. Not Facebook Live. YouTube Live. A live stream Tuesday, and I hit 20K Tuesday. And so I give God all honor, glory, and praise for you, because He sent you my way, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful to God for you. I'm just overjoyed and full of love, excitement, and gratitude, and humbleness and thankfulness. And I hope you all had a great week as well. I'm just glad that the week is over. I'll just say that. Only reason why I say that is because I'm just sick of this job. I don't like this job at all. It's not the work. It's never the work. It's always the what? The people. And they're trying to sweep something under the rug that happened. And I just ain't gonna let that be. Y'all know me. I'm an Aquarius, and we don't let shit go. Once we get on something, we get on it, and we stay on it until, it's done or resolved. So, nevertheless, that's what I'm gonna do. I am also excited that I get my hair done today. Woo! Lord have mercy. Because it's looking rough. She's going to give me an edge up. I was going to do color this weekend, but I need the edge up more than I need the color. Because this heat has been off the chain. And we are going to get another surge of breaking heat again this weekend. And this weekend here in Chicago, we have the Air and Water Show. I have never been. All these years that the Air and Water Show has been here in Chicago, I have never been. So down here on the north side, on the lake, down here at I can't think of the name of the beach, but that's where the air and water will be. And we've been hearing the planes and everything flying, and yeah, so it's are you getting over that way? Okay, so I'm gonna get over this way. So yeah, the air and water show is this weekend. I've never been. It's a huge thing. Planes flying. It's from what I understand, it's really, really exciting. A lot of people love it. It's almost 1 million people that be down there at this air and water show. I've never been, and I live right here in the city. And the reason why I have never been is because of that very reason, because it is too congested, and I ain't finna fight people. I don't want to be around that many people. So I've never made it. I've always just watched it on TV. Maybe one day, if somebody has live downtown and they got a building that I could come park my car at and go up on the building and watch it, that'll be fine. But I do not want to be amongst that many people. I just do not. I don't want to do it. We got a couple of things coming up in Chicago. We got the Air and Water Show. We got the Taste of Chicago. We got a couple of events going on. So yeah. Tomorrow morning, I have an appointment at 8 in the a.m. to bring my car back down here to get this belt tensioner fixed. Pray my strength in the Lord that it is not going to be very expensive. I asked the guy, I said, how much does a belt tensioner replacement cost? He said, oh, I can't give you a price. He said, he was like, I don't know with the labor, because the part, I already know the part is $145. So with the labor, it's gonna be about $2 something. Oh, Lord Jesus, I'm tired, y'all. When I say I'm tired of this. I'm not gonna speak. I'm not going to speak nothing negative over this car. I'm not, okay? We ain't gonna do that, because the car ain't been through hell and back. For those of you that are new, y'all don't know all the hell I've been through with this car. I got a new engine, rebuilt engine. I got that done. But before that, I had 2 tune-ups. The mechanic was working on the car. 2 tune-ups. I've had a pedal throttle replaced. That was $300. I've had a radiator fan, new radiator fan. That was $300. I've had brakes put on. That was $2 something. And we did all that. We did the tune-up. I had to buy ignition coils and spark plugs twice, 3 times, I think. To all of that, to come to find out that I needed a new engine. And every time I would get on here and tell somebody about what was going on with this car, and people said, oh, it sounds like, or it might be that, y'all was never, ever wrong. You were never wrong. So, I had that done, and then I had a new engine put in. The engine was almost like $3,000. My mama came through. Then I had to have a transmission put in. One, it hadn't even been a year. I needed a new transmission. Whew. I needed a new transmission. I just got that done. I drove the car 3 days after having the transmission put in, and I started to hear this noise, this chirping sound. And then I found out that I needed a new belt. Then I brought it down here to Midas about a month or so ago, and the guy said he couldn't hear it, and he said that I needed a new. I said, well, just change the belt anyway. drove it for a day, 2 days, 3 days. By Monday or Tuesday of that week, it started to chirp again. Found out I need a belt tensioner. When I tell you I have put at least about $10,000 in this car, and people said, you know, Sherelle, you should have just bought a new car. Well, here's the thing. If I didn't have a mortgage that was over $2,000, I probably would have bought a brand new car by now with all the bells and whistles. But with the economy being the way that it is, and by ugly being in office with the tariffs, I'm not buying no new car. I'd rather get what's fixed, what needs to be fixed on the car. This car is paid for. There's nothing wrong with this car. It really ain't nothing wrong with it now. Got a new transmission, a new rebuilt engine, rebuilt transmission. Rebuilt transmission was $3,000. Engine was $3,000. New pedal throttle. I don't need any brakes on the car. This seat now got to be replaced. The doors now need to be rewired, because now they won't work with the key fob. They won't flick. So pretty soon the back ones are gonna go too. So I don't know how much that's gonna cost, but we're gonna keep opening up this door with this key. That's what we gonna do. And we gonna pop locks like we did back in the 70s and 80s before there was such a thing as a key fob. That's what we gonna do until I get the money to get it done. Because for Toyota to rewire the doors and fix it, one door, $900. And with the tariffs, it probably costs about $2,000 to $4,000 to get all this shit rewired. Long as I got a key and a lock that I can get in and out this car, that's what we gonna do. Chris said, man, you can't pop the locks down. Let me in. Sorry, dude. You ain't in this car that much. And when you in here, we gonna reach over and pop the lock like we used to do. I told them that's what we did when we were back in the 70s. I said, we didn't have no, I said, you all spoiled. We ain't had no key fob. You reached over and you popped the lock. And we gonna reach over and pop the lock. That's what we gonna do. Because I'm not spending no $900 or no $1,100 or whatever it is to pop no lock. Not I. If I get the money to do it, I'll get it fixed. If not, it is what it is. You know, Chris prom and graduation is coming up next year, and I gotta have money for that. Here come another big expense. And I'm pissed with them because you gotta pay $180 fee. They want you to pay. Coming in the beginning of the school year, you can pay it now or all the way up until to the end of the school year. But I'm like, what is the $180 for? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What is it for? Because I'm not understanding. Plus the fees. All these fees you gotta pay. All these senior fees. Then you gotta pay for prom. And I know you gotta pay for the cap and gown. I know that's one fee. But I don't know what all these other fees are. Then I bought his well, my mother bought the uniform shirts. When I tell y'all, I'm so glad this is his last year that I don't have to buy him no uniform shirts next year. Because every year at this school, they wear a different shirt. Freshman year, they wore one color. Sophomore year, junior, senior. So junior year, he wore gray. Senior year, he'll be wearing orange shirts. So that's how they know who's seniors, who. I think freshman year. What did he wear freshman year? I think freshman year he wore blue or black. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think freshman year he wore black. Sophomore year he left the school and he came back, ended up coming back to the school. I had put him in another school. It was horrible. So I took him in the middle of the school year. I took him out of there and I put him back to this school. So I think sophomore year they had to wear blue. Junior year he had to wear gray shirts, and now senior year he got to wear orange. And all the money that I have spent over the years, man, uniform, shirts, shoes, socks, all that kind of stuff, you know. I'm just so glad that that's about to be over with. Now the next challenge is trying to help him find a job and help him find something that he wants to do as far as school. So we were talking about that yesterday. He is stuck on wanting to be an actor. He is stuck on going to acting school. So I said, you can go to acting school, but you got to get a job, because any school you go to, unless it's free, which I doubt, you got to pay. How you going to pay for acting school? And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't have no money to send Christopher to college. And Christopher don't want to go to college anyway. And he said, I got this learning disability. It's going to be hard for me. He said, I have struggled for years, ever since I've been in school. He said, I don't want to go to school. He doesn't want to go into the military. I don't want him to go into the military, not to fight for this country and the way this country is. No. He doesn't want to go. I don't want him in the military. He doesn't want to go to the military. So I said, well, you can do trade, but even with a trade school, you got to get some type of, stipend or whatever to go to a trade school. I'm sure it's less money. I assume that it's less than going to a 4-year college. So, I don't know. I said, you need to get a job. That's what you need to do. You need to get a job. And we'll figure it out. It'll come together. It'll work itself out. But you gotta find a job. And I don't know what kind of job he wants to do. And then my girlfriend at work, he was telling me how they had hired all of these high school kids for Streets and Sand, where I used to work, and now they don't have enough positions. And I don't understand how they don't have enough positions when they always talking about the manpower. They don't have the manpower. Putting on your brakes. How they don't have the manpower. They don't have enough people to do the job. So I ain't really understanding that, but I don't know. I don't know what Chris is gonna do. I guess he'll figure it out. I'm just trying to get him. This is last year. I'm trying to get him out of high school and trying to get him situated. Some kind of way, So we'll see. And then he ended up not taking driver's ed. They skipped him or something happened with that, and so then they wanted him to do it over the summer, and it wasn't in person, it was all online, and then he had to do something. I told him, I said, Christopher, if you don't take driver's ed, I'll pay for you to go to driving school. I don't know how much it costs. I said, but when I tell y'all, this is the most unorganized school. And okay, so they sent an email over the summer, back in July, saying that you had to buy the school uniform shirts by a certain date. Now, these school uniform shirts are not cheap. Of course, you know that. So they told him that he had to buy, that we had to get these shirts, and we had to get these shirts by a certain time, right? So that was the time that I was having all that stuff going on with what I had going on. So my mother said, I'll buy the shirts. So I said, okay. So she bought them. So now you had to go to the school and pick them up. So you got to go to the school to pick them up. And so I'm waiting to find out, like, to get the email when we got to pick the shirts up. They sent us an email. Now they pressured us and said, you got to buy the shirts by this date, because if you don't, go on the online store and buy the shirt. If you don't get the shirts by this date, then you're going to have to wait until blah, blah, blah. And every student needs to be in their uniform shirt the first day of school. First of all, you don't even know if parents have the money to buy those uniform shirts right away, like you all gave a deadline. You don't even know that. So you had already put the pressure on for us to buy them by a certain date. Then they send another email saying, like 2 or 3 weeks later, after people had put their orders in, they told us we could pick the shirts up. This is another thing. They only give you a small window of time that you can pick the shirts up, from 2 to 4. Who the fuck can be there at 2 o'clock when you work a job, when parents work? That pissed me off. Let me go punch in. I'll be back, y'all. So they tell us that, we got to pick them up at this certain time within this window frame of time. Well, nobody considers people that work. So if I didn't have my mama, if I didn't have my mom, I don't know how I would get the shirts, right? So let me go back down here. I know where to park down here. So I tell my mother, I said, I don't get off until 3:30. I said, so I'm not gonna make it there by no 4 o'clock or no from 2 to 4 or 2 to 5. I don't know what it was. I think it was 2 to 4. So she said, well, I'll go get them. All right. So I tell these idiots here at work, I said, listen, I get here at 6 o'clock in the morning anyway. I said, I'm here before 6 or whatever time. I said, can I just work that day so I can get off early so I can go get, my son's uniform shirts. They tell me, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's always some fucking BS about what you can't do here. You can do a shift change here. You can. But this... Anyway, so he's so scary. He's scared of his own shadow. So the person that I asked, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Blah, 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 blah. So, all right, fine, whatever. So then we get an email saying that the shirts are not available. That there's a delay. They don't know when, they sorry for the delay. They don't know when the shirts will be at the school. But you did all this bull crap. You did all this about, they got to have the shirts by this time. They got to have the shirts. All of this. They the most disorganized school I ever seen in my life. That's why I will be glad when he come the fuck up out of there. They do not have their shit together. And these jobs don't want to work with you when you got children. They don't want to work with you. Look how dumb this job is. You can take your kids to school and get 4 hours, but then you got to take the other time off. Just stupid as hell. Just stupid as hell. That's why I told y'all I'm looking forward to the day that I don't have to come. That I don't have to that I don't have to work for nobody but myself. I'm looking forward to that day. You know, we all love money. We all need money. We all want money. You know, you can't do nothing without it. We gotta have it, right? I mean, to be honest with y'all, that's the one thing that I think about the most, more than anything, is money. Making sure I have enough money. Money is always a concern. Because you just want to always make sure you have it. And everything is so high now. Everything. My mother said yesterday, I want to go to Orland. I guess we ain't going to get to Orland. I said, we're going to go. I said, but you know what was going on with me. I said, but we could have went this weekend. I said, but I got to get the car fixed. Because it's not like I don't have the money. I got the money. But I got to get the car fixed. It's always something. That's what I'm saying. Every time you look up, it's something wrong with this car. And like I said, now it's the doors, you know. And I just refuse to get that fixed. I just refuse to get it fixed. I'm just not going to get it fixed. I'm just not. I'm like, these doors, as long as I can get in it, I'm good. The iPhone 17 comes out in a couple of months. I don't know if you all know that. And the girl, I wanted the six. My mother got the 16 Pro Max. I started to get it, but then I was like, no, I'll just wait. I'm going to keep this phone until this phone break. I'm gonna keep it. This is the 14 Pro Max that I have. My mother got the 16 Pro Max. Chris got the 16, just the regular 16. I got the 14 Pro Max. Chris got a new phone. I want the 17 Pro Max, but we know with the tariffs, these phones are gonna cost a mint now. So I'm gonna keep what I have. I'm gonna keep what I have until until it break. Real talk. May sound crazy. It may sound like, you know, whatever. I'm going to keep it until it breaks. I'm so serious, y'all. I'm gonna keep it. Same way with this car. Whatever needs to be done on this car, as long as it's running, as long as it ain't, my car ain't all, I don't have a whole bunch of dents, it ain't tore up, the bumper ain't, as long as it's running, I'm gonna keep this car. I'd rather dump money in this car than pay $1,000 for a car note. I'm not doing that. I want to be able to go buy me some stuff that I like. I want to be able to go get my hair done. I want to be able to go get my nails and my feet done. I want to be able to go shop. As much as I like to do online retail shopping, I am still a person who likes to go into the stores to shop. I love Ross. I love DD's Discount Store. I love Marshalls, and I love TJ Maxx. But I'm going to tell y'all, I don't shop in TJ Maxx and Marshalls as much as I used to, because you got Ross. Oh, don't let me leave out Burlington. You got Burlington, Ross, and DD's. Those are my stores. I don't shop in Macy's for nothing. I don't shop in Saks Fifth Avenue. I don't shop in Bloomingdale's. I don't shop in Hermes or whatever. That's not the kind of shopping that I do. I go and buy stuff like this. Just my shirt say, just so y'all know, my shirt say Queens do it better. I got on the blue jean hat that says Queen. I bought this hat the other day for $4. This shirt, I think I bought this shirt at I got this shirt off of Temu for a little of nothing. My point is, I want to be able to shop and buy things that I want to buy that I like. But I don't want to have all these big expenses. I don't want to have a huge car note. Do I want a new car? Yes, I do. I do. But it doesn't make sense to go buy a brand new car when this is basically a new car. It may not have all the bells and whistles like the like my mama's car do, but it just don't make sense to me to go buy a new car. I'm not paying $1,000 for a car note. And I'm going to tell you, if I pay $1,000 for a car note, something got to come down. Meaning, the house note gotta come down. And it don't seem as if my mortgage is gonna come down anytime soon. Yeah, I think about this all the time, you all. I think about this all the time. This is what I think about. I think about this. I think all the time, if you had just stayed in an apartment, you would not be struggling. Or you would have not struggling. Let's take that word out, because I'm not struggling. Thank you, Jesus. I'm not struggling. Things would not be as tight. That's the word we're going to use. However, if I had stayed in the apartment and I had to keep dealing with that BS, with that cheap ass landlord, with that raggedy ass apartment that was falling apart, because they since I moved, they've redid everything in the apartment. They pulled up all that old ass carpet that I kept telling him or kept asking him about. They pulled all of that up. The fireplace that was coming apart from the wall, that I was afraid one day was going to come all the way from the wall and fall on my son, because Chris was sleeping in the living room. I was afraid. That's why I would tell him, stop jumping around, stop dancing, because I never knew when that wall was gonna come tumbling down, or kill. My cat was killed. One of my cats was already killed by him leaving the stupid ass ladder in my apartment, but what if that had been my child? You know what I'm saying? What if that had been my child? So the apartment was falling apart. He would not hire no professional person. He obviously had the maintenance man doing it. No shade to the maintenance man. Me and the maintenance man, we got along fine. He was the one that was out there that night killing that raccoon. No shade to him. But he needed professional people, and he was cheap, and he didn't want to spend a dime to have professional people. So my bathroom looked jacked up. I was out of my apartment twice. I had to stay at my mama's house, because instead of him hiring professional people, he would hire him, which would take him longer to get everything fixed. It was just a mess, and I was sick of it. So I could have stayed where I was and dealt with that and had more money in my pocket to do what I wanted to do, and not to be where things are tight. I could have. I certainly could have. I chose not to, because I wanted something better. And when you want something better, sometimes you have to make the sacrifice for it. It may not be easy. It may be uncomfortable. It may not be easy. It may be uncomfortable. It may not be the way in which you want it. It may make you feel a certain type of way. All of that. But at the end of the day, the sacrifice is what is great. So although things are tight, and they are, but I am still grateful and still thankful to God that I have a house. I'm just grateful. Which reminds me, I got a call to get back on the payment plan for the water bill. When I pay the water bill, it's always just so damn confusing to me. The website. I gotta figure that out. I gotta bend these hats. They be too wide. It's like you always putting out fires. That's the way I feel. Like, you know, it's like you get one thing paid off, and then here comes something else. And then here comes something else. But you know what? I'ma still keep praising God. I'ma still thank God. I'm still gonna give God the honor, glory, and praise. I'm not gonna worry about nothing. I'm not gonna worry about nothing, because I know that I serve a big God. I know I serve a God who has never, ever, 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 ever failed me. Never. Now, this month for YouTube revenue, I gotta come on live more, because I ain't making the money for the September payment. It's like I think I'm up to $127, and for the month of July I made $383 off of YouTube. And for the month of August, I've only made $127. So I'll get that payout. Now, granted, listen to me. I'm at 20,000 subscribers, right? I'll be glad when I clear a check like for $500 or $600 through YouTube. But right now, it's still moving like mud. That's why I said when people look at your numbers, they think that you making a lot of money off of YouTube, and you're really not, unless you're really up there. And then you got to be on other streams of platforms too, like Instagram, TikTok, you know, all of that. So I'm not on Instagram that much. I don't do reels on Instagram as often as I should for this page. I have a Cece's Fashion is My Passion on Facebook. I don't really go on there and go live and upload videos and all of this and all that, because trying to work a job and trying to be I'm not a full-time content creator, so I'm not on everything like that because I work, and YouTube is my main platform. YouTube is my main thing, and it's just hard to be everywhere all of the time. Here's my friend. And like I said, it's hard when you work. It's just really hard. And you got a house and you got a kid and pets and a mama or daddy or whatever. You know, it's just hard. You know, it's just hard. And you trying to have somewhat of a social life, and you know, it's just hard to juggle all of that. It's hard to juggle all of that, and it's hard to be everywhere all of the time. And I just can't work all these platforms and work a job. If I didn't have a job and I could just do this and only this, and I was pulling in every 2 weeks or twice a month what I make here, and I could get insurance and I could get, you know, but that ain't the case. So, with that being said, I gotta stay where I'm at, you know. So, I'm just grateful for where I am. I'm grateful for, you know, what I've accomplished so far over here. Sharnita Lynn, who's a YouTube subscriber and a content creator, she wrote on my my video when I said I hit 20K. She said, you know, you deserve it because you're one of the hardest working YouTubers on here. She said you post every day. And that's true. I do. I post every day, 7 days a week. I'm on here posting. And mainly because the reason why I do these car chats, it's not for the revenues, it's not for the money. It's to stay connected to you all. It's to stay relevant. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a full-time content creator, I can't make content fashion haul. Even if I had brands that I was working with, even if I had brands that was sending me stuff, I couldn't possibly show you all an item 7 days a week. I mean, now I could, if I go down there in my basement and you know, because I was thinking of some hauls to do. Like I could do a sunglass haul. I could do a purse haul. I could do a shoe haul. I could do a color scheme haul. The thing is that I don't have the time to do all of them. You know, I don't have the time to do a haul every day for those different themes because I work. So what I know that I can do is that I can use this mouth to talk. And that's what I do. You know, now this weekend, Saturday, I have something to do in the morning. It's going to be extremely hot. So I got to find out what my mom got going on, what she needs me to do for her. She act like she wants to go to Orland. If she want to go to Orland, we can go. I try to get my mom out the house on the weekend because she's in the house 5 days a week because we all work. The whole family work. I work, my sister work, my niece work, my nephew work, and Chris go to school. So she's by herself 5 days a week. So on Saturday and Sunday, Saturday is our day. So I'm like, Mama, what you want to do? Where you want to go? So like next Saturday, she got to go get her hair done. Even though she drives, my mother, it is what it is. She's 81 years old. She's still, you know, she doesn't drive like I drive. And my mother has never been that type of person. She learned how to drive. She knows how to drive. My mother is not a driver. She never has been. She never liked, she would have like, I remember when she had to she switched the job and she had to drive to the west side here in Chicago on the expressway. Oh my God, she was going through a thing with that. She did not want to get on the expressway. My father kept on saying, you got to get on the expressway. You got to learn how to get on the expressway. You can't take the street all the time. You got to learn how to get on the expressway. I remember the first time I got on the expressway, I was nervous. The reason why I got on the expressway was that my grandmother had just died. And I was trying to get to the hospital before she passed, but I didn't make it. And I went to the hospital to be with my dad. This was my father's mother. And when I got there, she was gone. So I went in to see her, and it was heartbreaking to see my father. My father took his mother's death so hard. Oh my God, because he was very, very close to her. His father lived a lot longer. He lived well up into his 90s. He was 93 when he passed. So my father didn't take his death as hard as he did his mother. His mother, he just, I remember him being in the kitchen one day, and he was sitting in the kitchen at the kitchen table. He was just crying. And I was trying to console him, and he said, you'll never understand this pain I'm feeling until you lose one of your parents. And when he died, I remember that. I remember him saying that to me. And oh my God, I felt like somebody was stepping on my chest. I could not breathe for days. I kept writing on Facebook, because I wasn't on YouTube then. He died in 2016. I didn't get on YouTube. I had a YouTube channel over here, but I wasn't doing anything on it. It was under just my name. It wasn't CC's Fashion is my passion. I didn't get on YouTube until 2020 or 2021. During the pandemic. That's when I got on YouTube. Right when we were like in the middle of the pandemic, kind of like coming out of it, that's when I really got on YouTube. But I remember writing on Facebook. I was on Facebook, and I remember writing on Facebook. I just kept saying, I can't breathe. I cannot breathe. I just felt like I could not breathe. I could not breathe. It was a weird feeling when he died, and I remember him saying that to me about his mother. And you know, death is the grieving process is hell. It's hell. It's really, really bad. It's hell. But it was something else I wanted to tell you all too. I can't remember. Something else I was gonna say to you all. I lose my train of thought quite often. Damn, I can't think of what I was saying. I was saying something to tie into that. So that's what I was saying. So that was the first time that I got on the expressway, was to be with my family and my dad when my grandmother died. And I was saying my mother has never been a driver. She doesn't drive like I drive. And so on Saturdays, I try to get her out of the house. But it's been so godforsakenly hot this summer that we have been limited on really kicking it. You know what I'm saying? But we try to go somewhere. You know, I try to do something. We try to go out to eat, or we try to go to a store, because my mother likes to shop like I do. So that's her thing. She wants to go shopping. So I have to ask her, Does she have anything planned? My sister normally comes over on Saturdays to see her and my niece, and sometimes my nephew not working, so all of us be together. And my mother has requested that we have a game night once a month. We haven't did it yet, but that's the plan. We're gonna do a game night at different houses. We'll do one at my sister's house, one at my house, and one at my mother's house. So we just, like I said, we just haven't did it. Because everybody been traveling, everybody been busy. Then all of us are getting ready to go on this cruise. The only people that's not going is my sister's husband and my sister's two kids. But my mom, my sister, me, and Chris, the four of us, we're going on this cruise in October. And originally my mother was not going, but my sister's husband at the last minute, well, not the last minute, he decided that he didn't want to go. So my sister needed a roommate, and who else to ask but my mom, because she's retired and, you know, she has the time. So I was already going. And this is my school, CVS, Chicago Vocational High School, CVS alumni all-class cruise. I'm going to be tired because, baby, we going to party. So that's another thing. I got to get shirts. We got to get, all my friends are going. All my girlfriends are going. I'm going to be tired. So we all wearing shirts that say CVS, all class, CVS alumni cruise vacation shirts. Those shirts are like $25. So I got to get the shirts for me, Chris, and my mama, and, you know, my sister's going to buy her shirt. So I'm excited about the cruise. The other thing is that my the flight for Chris and I was like, for both of us, which wasn't bad, was $1,000. So my sister's husband, which I wasn't planning on doing that, he put everything on his credit card. I was planning to do Uplift Vacation. I did that when I went to Punta Cana, and I paid, you know, paid on the cruise. So he put everything on his credit card, so I got to pay him back. So I already gave him $400. Gave him $400, and so I got to pay him until I pay him off. So it's almost like the same thing, but I'd rather pay through Uplift Vacation than go through some. I don't want nobody sweating me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody sweating me. I talked to my baby uncle yesterday he said we had been on the phone for an hour. We had been on the phone longer than that. I talked to him from the time I went to lunch until almost 5 o'clock. So from 1 in the afternoon to about 5, we had been on the phone. And we talked about everything. And see, he's not that much older than me, so he's really more like my brother than my uncle. He's the baby of the nine. That's what I call him, of the 9. And I'm 55, and he's like 60, 61, something like that. 62. I have to ask him how old he is. So he's not that much older than me, you know. So him, my other uncle who take Chris to school, he's not that much older than me. And my aunt, Karen, who died, she wasn't that much older than me. They could have been my brothers and sisters because my grandmother had them later in life. My mother was she's at the beginning of the 9. There's Nay, then my mother. And then, so my mother could really be their mother. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother's 81 and he's 60 something. So my mother could be his mother, you know. My mother was like 18 and 19 when he was born. So anyway, I said all that to say that, you know, we're waiting for him to have this for him to have this biopsy on this knot. And he one thing I can say about him, he takes very good care of himself. He does go to the doctor. Unlike some of these men, he does go. That's why he knew something was going on. And he had one brain surgery already in 2014, I think. So this is what, 12 years later. So just keep him in your prayers, your thoughts and your prayers. So I talked to him yesterday, and we just talked about life stuff about our family, stuff about what happened with my grandparents being murdered, because those were his mother and father, my mother and father, but my mother's stepfather. But it was his father. It was my mother's stepfather. My mother's father died when I was like 10 or something like that. But I knew him too. Just because my grandmother had been married twice. So this was really his father. But I say that he's my grandfather because he was, I mean, from the time I came into the world, that's the man that I was always around, and I loved him, you know. So we talked about that, and, you know, we both was choked up. You know, it's been 30 some years, almost 40, that my grandparents have been gone. And I'm telling you all, it feel like it just happened yesterday. It just, I mean, their lives, and my grandfather was a lot older, but my grandmother, when I think about turning 60, my grandmother was only 64 when she was murdered. You know, and I think about her life and how she didn't get to live to be an 80-year-old woman like my mother. You know, and I don't know. It's just unfair. You know, it's just unfair. I'm just still angry about that, you know, and just, I feel like, you know, I don't know, I just feel like she was just snatched from me, you know. I was 16 when she died. Because she didn't die, she was killed. And it pisses me off. You know, it pisses me off. That's why I say, you know, when people be on these live streams trying to come for me, you can't come for me, because I've been through some stuff, you know. That's why, you know, if you knew if the horrendous thing that I went through with that, you know, it's like that's why I have a clap back all the time, you know. Because don't nothing affect me because when you've been through something like that. But anyway, you all have a good Friday. Thank you all so much. I don't want to start crying. I don't want to mess my makeup up. I just, you know, like I said, talking to him yesterday, it just he was boo-hooing. We were just talking about, you know, how, and I'll just leave this with you all, you know, you always feel like you could have did something, you know. We all went through that. Why didn't we see this? Why didn't we recognize this? Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? And in 1986, mental health awareness was not what it is today. Nobody talked about mental illness the way that we talk about it now. Nobody talks about being healthy mentally. Nobody talked about different mental illnesses. People, especially black people. You know, black people wouldn't afford to go see a therapist or a psychiatrist. You know, we didn't have the money for that. You know, black people don't have the resources, or didn't have the resources like we have now. And we were suffering with, a lot of black people were suffering with mental illness and did not know what that was called. So we just called people crazy or unstable, or Susie or Sally Mae had a nervous breakdown, and nobody really knew what it meant, and nobody really, explained it. And it was always something to be ashamed of. It was always something that was taboo, in our community. And so what I told my uncle yesterday, I said, we didn't know. We did not know. In 1986, I mean, you was dealing, we were in the depths and the thrones of this drugs, of AIDS, of it was all other stuff that was going on, but we didn't deal with the mental illness. And so what I was saying to my uncle is that you can't blame yourself for whatever took place at that time, because my grandmother wasn't educated enough to even know what it was that she was dealing with my uncle, who was sick, who committed this, who did what he did. We didn't know, but am I angry? I'm still angry. I'm still angry. I'm still affected by that. I'm still sad. I think my depression, I think dealing with being depressed started then. And I've gotten better. I've gotten a lot better. But I miss my grandmother. I miss her. I miss her. I mean, she's been gone a long time, but I miss my grandmother. And I feel, I feel she didn't deserve what she got. Neither one of them. My grandfather, they just didn't deserve it. They weren't that type. They weren't the type of people that did anything to anybody. They didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve it. And sometimes when I talk about it to other people, or mention it, I get this tightness in my chest. Because it's hard to talk about it. And we didn't go for therapy as a family. We didn't. Because again, there was no such thing as grief counselors, and nobody in our community, reached out to the family to say, come to us and we'll, help you all through this. So of course everybody did their own thing. Some of them, got wrapped up into getting high. Some people the family just kind of like, we came together, but there was still some, people doing whatever they were doing, So this is why, whatever my mother want, whatever she need, believe me, she get on my nerve and I get on her nerve, and we know when to give each other space and grace. But I tried. I'm with my mother every day. I see my mother every day. So when my mother wants to go somewhere, she wants to do something, I do it. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? She got to get her hair done next Saturday. She could drive herself there, but I told her, I'll take you. I'll take you. I'll take you, because what I realize is that, my mother is 81, so I don't know. I mean, she cracks me up. She's like, girl, don't be trying to put me in the grave, But I don't know. Just like I didn't know when my father was going to leave. I didn't expect my father to leave at 77. He wasn't sick. He drove, he got up, he did what he wanted to do. I never looked at them as being, neither one of them ever acted like old parents. You know what I'm saying? They weren't old parents. I just try to do whatever she want to do. That's my point. Whatever you want to do, where you want to go, what you want to do. If you don't want to do nothing, fine. If you want to do something, fine. Whatever, And I'm with her a lot because I don't want to miss nothing. I want to give her whatever, I want to do whatever, because my mother's mother was snatched away from her. She didn't have the opportunity to have her mother at 80. So I just try to, sometimes, I be like, sometimes I don't want to do nothing. But if she want to go, I'll go. I'll take her. I don't have no problem taking her. Where you want to go? I hate going to Sam's Club, but I'll go. You want to go get your hair done? I'll drive you. You want to go over here? I'll take you. And I'm just grateful to God that He's allowed my mother to live as long as she has. And my mother doesn't suffer from dementia or she's not sick. She's not in a wheelchair. She's very mobile. She's able to do things for herself. She bought that car last year, brand new car, and I just thank God for that. And I was looking at something on Facebook where they were saying that Gladys Knight, the singer, is suffering from early signs of early dementia. And Wendy Williams my mother was telling me this yesterday, that she has a guardianship. And they were going to take the guardianship off, but they did test her, gave her an extensive testing, and she does have dementia. So with that being said, she has to now be under a guardianship. So, I have a girlfriend that's dealing with her mother with dementia, early dementia. Her mother is 75. And, she going through. And I just try to be there to support her. I just be there for support. And her mother is very jazzy too. But she is suffering with that. Hold on. What's up, Brian? Yes. I saw you yesterday. Yep. Oh, I stay on 87. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, you too, baby. He's a sweet guy. So yeah, so I just try to do what I can. I just try to do what I can. So anyway, whatever she want to do, I just try to do it. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go. It's 6:54. Go up in this motherfucking place. Anyway, y'all have a good day. I love you all. I'll see you all. If we don't go nowhere tomorrow, I'll be on here. But if we do, whatever the case may be, I'll see y'all. I might see y'all later on today or tomorrow when I go live. Y'all will see me. I'll be here. That's all I got to say. Have a great day. Have a wonderful Friday. Okay. Peace and blessings. Bye.